Ken is saying that the group is locked. All right, so this session we're having tonight is being recorded. I need you to know that everything that we are going to be saying here is going to be available for your replay, and then others who are not necessarily here will also have access to it. So I was trying to share with us the idea behind family meetings for those that are joining us for the first time. Um, Before now, I have a program called Speed Reading Certificate Program. Towards the end of the program of this meeting, I'll be talking more about that. And it's a 1 month program where we train people to read more books with better comprehension and retention. But one of the things that we notice is that after 1 month of training, people are usually pumped up. I have a lot of people online right now that have done 4 books, 5 books in January because they were in the training program for the month of January. And then after that training, because we do it on a monthly program, after January, we move to February. As I speak to you right now, we have about 45 persons that are registered for February. But we notice that as our attention moves from a particular month to another, a lot of people tend to lose their steam and they go back to their old bad habits. So we decided that we are going to come up with a program like this where we get to meet with our past students every Sunday evening and keep inspiring them to keep up with their reading. So this program is usually for everyone that have registered for our program in the past. So, but sometimes we get to allow those that have not registered to be part of it. It also gives them an opportunity to see what others are doing because some people are sitting on the fence right now. Okay, someone said a lot of people are here. Some people are skeptical about the program, and I can understand because we have a lot of stuff going on online. But just by being in the platform, getting to hear from other people can actually inspire you. So that's what the family meeting is all about. We do it every Sunday evening by 8 p.m. like this. We try to do 1 hour, 1 hour 50 minutes, at most 1 hour 30 minutes. So for tonight, we have something very interesting that I want to share with us. And I really hope that what I'm sharing tonight, I had somebody share this with me when I started on my journey of personal growth and transformation. But before we do that, I'm going to allow, like I always do, I'm going to allow 1, 2 persons to tell us about their reading. Please, once you come on live, ensure that your mic is muted. I don't like to unmute everybody. Ensure your mic is muted once you come on live, um, so that there will be no noise on the background. I'm going to allow 1, 2, 3 persons to tell us about their reading in January 2024. We want to know your name, how many books you were able to read, and if you have gone through the program, we'd like to know how it has impacted you. All you have to do is just tap on the hand icon as you raise your hand, and then I'll call your name and give you an opportunity to speak. Want to do that before we go into what we are discussing tonight. Do I have anybody that want to share with us just to inspire other people? Always remember, anytime you come up with book summaries and then you come up with books you have read in a week, you're not trying to show off. We're a community, we're a family. So what you are doing is that you're trying to inspire other people to also take action. Do I have anybody like that? If nobody raises hand, I like to call him sometimes. If you don't raise your hand, I'll call your name if I know you very well. Vincent, are you trying to say something? Your mic is unmuted. Vincent, pray. Please, if you want to if you want to introduce yourself and tell us about your reading in January, this is the right time. Do I have anybody that wants to do that? While I admit others to join us, do I have anybody like that? This is the Speed Reading Certificate Program. Some of you have gone through it, you have been imparted, and you have improved on your reading. You have been very practical about it. I want you to share with us what you have. In general, I did 5 books, like I've already made us to understand, and that's how I intend to continue throughout the throughout the year 2024. At least I should be able to do 50 books this year. Okay, so I'm just going to call out 1 or 2 persons that I'm very sure. Spiff Joy, please, are you here? I know we had a live yesterday, specifically for the January group, but this is a general group now. I'd like you to tell us about your reading in January? I think Speak Joy did 5 books. Please let us know. Just introduce yourself. We have a general group now here. All the students that registered for this program in 2023, about 2,455 persons went through the program. So some of them are live, and then there are others that have not gone through that program. Please, I want you to share with us your name, the books you read in January, and how it has impacted you. Speak Joy, can you hear me? If you can, please unmute your mic. All right. I'm not sure she's live. I'm trying to look for somebody else. I don't know why this is the very first time that I ask people to speak and nobody's saying anything. Do you have anybody that wants to share your readings in January? If you have gone through the program, you let us know how it has impacted you. Do you have anybody like that? Normally, what some of us do, they will just wait for the first person to speak. That's when we now remember what we want to say. Okay. For me, in the month of January, okay, you got Oluwadare. Maybe I'll just allow only you speak so that we don't waste a lot of time. Unmute your mic and speak, please.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
My name is Oladam Narigotu. Actually, I joined this program last year and July. So, and since then, I've been able to at least meet up with some readings every month. But January, actually, I was able to read 3 books. One of it was "Eat That Frog" by Brian Tracy,
Very good book.
and I also read "Born to Win" by the Bishop David Oyedepo.
Good book.
And it was actually I can say 4 books actually, but the other 2 are academic books.
Please,
The
academic
other,
books are also part of it. Eh? They are also part of
sir,
it. You are a student. If you are a student, we
yes,
expect
yes,
you to be academic books, so they are part of
yes, yes.
it.
So the other 2 was academic books. So I was able to finish one of my chemistry course and one English course like that. Now pages are very numbered, so but actually with the reading strategy I learned during July, so I was able to smash them all.
Wow. Wow. So you said you did the program in July last year, right?
Yes, yes, yes. That was when I enrolled for the program.
It's fine. It's fine. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that you are still keeping up with what you learned, because so many people attend trainings and after a while they stop practicing. All right. I'm seeing Mary Ndidi. Mary Ndidi, you can unmute your mic, speak. You are the last person I'm going to take. Mary Ndidi, your hands are raised. Is it a mistake or you want to share with us also? All right, maybe it's a mistake. I'm just going to dive right in what I have for us tonight. Like I said, if you are just coming on live, please understand that this session is being recorded. Everything I'll be saying, every contribution you'll be making, will be made available for review later, and for those that might not necessarily be here tonight. So just give me a minute. I'm trying to share my screen, and then we'll just take it up from there. Tonight, I'm talking about 24 important reading tips that I have learned after reading over 600 books in 12 years. Okay, just to give you some background knowledge for those that probably are coming on live for the first time, I've shared with us severally about my journey of personal growth and transformation. I've not always been like this. I've had my own share piece of struggling to read and all of that. But something happened years ago. Um, I was invited to a church. In that service, I heard the word. I was convinced in my heart, and then I said yes to Jesus. And that same week, I began to have very terrible dreams. Terrible dreams that I will not want to go into details, but I was very scared. I felt like if you accept Jesus, you're supposed to be safe. Why am I having terrible dreams? So I ran to a pastor in that local church, and then I was sharing my personal experience with him. No, when I got into his office, I had I wanted to share my personal experience with him. But before I started talking, he started telling me things that were going to happen in my future. So he said to me, "You are going to be a teacher. You're going to be a coach. You're going to be a consultant. You'll be a public speaker. You're going to be a minister. You are going to write books." And then he said so many things. That was not the reason why I went to see him. I went to see him for something else. But I was smart enough to write down those things that he said that day. And let me say this: what made me believe that man that day? As at the time I went to meet him, this man was not literate at all. He wasn't reading, he wasn't writing. But in his conversation, he spoke very fluently. In my small mind, I believed that God spoke through him because of his fluency. Let me put it that way. I believed what he said because of how fluent he was while he was under um, that atmosphere. Let me put it that way. So I got home, I wrote those things in my diary, and then I began to look at myself. I said, everything that this man has said, with who I am today, it is impossible to become those things. As at that time, I'm talking about 2008, I was this shy, reserved person. I couldn't, I've not envisaged or imagined myself writing a book, talk less of maybe speaking in public. And yes, somebody was telling me that I was going to be a public speaker, I'll speak all over the world, blah, 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 and all of that. So I said to myself, if I'm going to become these things, I need to become a different type of person. I was, I was, I was privileged enough to be in a church where our lead pastor was always talking about going for knowledge, and all of that. So I began to read books. I began to read books. I was struggling to read one book a month, no matter how hard I tried. Until one day I was listening to a message by a pastor here in Port Harcourt. His name is David Biome, and he was talking about how his church began to grow in leaps and bounds, and a lot of professionals were coming into the church, and these people like to engage him after service. And he said to himself that if he was going to stay relevant, he needed to improve on his learning curve, and that is how he went to learn speed reading. Now, I've never heard about the term speed reading before. So after listening to him, I decided to do some research. He said he paid about £4,000 to learn speed reading. I didn't have that kind of money to invest in myself. So I resorted to the internet. I saw books, I saw articles, I saw courses, I saw videos. Some were free, some were paid for. Out of all the paid programs that I've attended, the one that stands out or that stood out for me was Quick Brain by Jim Quick. Quick Brain by Jim Quick. If you are here tonight, you are not following Jim Quick, I advise you do so. I'm typing his name on the comment section. JIMKWIK. That's my brain coach, and he's the one that taught me speed reading. He has been consistent over the years, and he's doing an amazing job. Follow him on YouTube, follow him on Spotify. He has about 370 something podcasts on Spotify. I'm going to listen to all of them this year. I also listen to follow him on YouTube. He has a lot of good videos there, conferences he has done, interviews he has granted, and then book summaries that he has done. So I follow him. I would say that maybe over 50% of what I teach, I learned from him. He's an amazing guy. So you might want to follow him if you are really interested in learning speed reading, even way beyond what I teach. He does an amazing job. So I began to practice the stuff that I learned, from these courses, and I began to see improvements in myself. The same me that was struggling to read one book a month, I grew to reading one book a month comfortably to two to three to four books. And then the idea came, why not I teach this newfound skill to students around me? My goal then was to reduce the rate of failure in WAEC, JAM, and NECO. Anytime I see those results, I used to feel very bad. And I know that the reason why those students were failing was because of most of them, they had a poor reading culture. I failed WAEC 3 times, I failed JAM 3 times. It took me 7 years to gain admission into university. And I know that it wasn't because I was not intelligent, it's just that I was not disciplined with my study. So I knew that these students were also facing the same thing. So I began to teach them how to develop a good reading culture, how to read fast, how to understand, how to remember exam issues. I began to tackle all of those things. And as I did that, I noticed that even students in university started contacting me. I included them in my program. At some point, I began to have private individuals like yourself. So many of you are not anymore. They came to me also, and they were now saying that they also want to improve on their reading. So as I before I met with private individuals, I had a program I called academic coaching. That's what I was doing. I still do it till now. So when I started having private individuals, I had to come up with another program which I call the Speed Reading Certificate Program. And of course, over the years, I've grown, I've evolved from just teaching even private individuals, and I also do corporate trainings for organizations that would like to create a learning environment, around their workspace. And it has been an amazing journey. I've seen people move from shy, timid, reserved to becoming very bold to a point where they can express themselves in private meetings and in public meetings. I've seen people who are with initiating, struggling in relationships just by paying attention to their personal growth and transformation through learning. They began to learn, or they understood how to now initiate new relationship, and keep long-term relationship. I've seen people who are broke just by on their reading. They became rich in their mind, and then over time it manifested. Same people who are struggling with public speaking grow over the years. People have grown in leadership, and these are the things that give me joy on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. For last year, through our program, we were able to train 2,400 and almost say 50 or 55 persons. And this year, our goal is to train 10,000 people, and it can only get better. So that's like a way of introduction for those that are coming live for the very first time. Tonight, I want to share 24 important reading tips that I have learned after reading over 600 books in the course of 12 years. I started doing this, is it 2008 or 2010? Yeah, and it has been an amazing journey for me. So for the past 2 years, like I said, I've been reading one book a week, 4 books a month, and 48 books every year. Please, I need to be sure you can hear me. I need to be sure you can see my screen. Just uh, type in the comment section. I can hear you. I can see your screen. If I ask you to speak now, some of us used to forget to mute our mic when we are done speaking. But I need to be sure you can see me and you can also hear me. Just use the chat and just type I can see, I can hear. It's very important. So I just don't. Sometimes we are live and then people are not hearing us and we are just talking. You can hear and see me. Please just type I can hear, I can see. All right, thank you. And for God says I can hear, I can see. Comfort to be raising a hand. FBN is responding to Ilokwe. Thank you, Josephine. Thank you, Fadike. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Sijuale, Lukman, Josephine Blessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can hear, I can see. Okay, so when you are done with that, thank you, Petrina. I can see all your responses. Thank you. I like my classes to be very engaging. It helps me to know that you are with me. When you are done responding to I can hear, I can see, please, I want to know what your reading goal is for this year. I train my students to do 1 book a week, 4 books a month, and 48 books every year. But I want to know what your own reading goal is for this year. Please, if you're on this call and last year you did not read up to 5 books, I would advise that you start with 12 books this year or 24 books this year. Thank you, Wisdom Otoro. But I want to know what your goals are for the year. Reading goal. You must have reading goals. If not, you're not going to read. Okay, so I'm seeing Mr. Rollers. I'll respond to that. I'll respond to that in the chat. Let me just go on with my slide. So I've been doing 12 for the past 12 years. I've been doing 1 book a week, 4 books a month, and 48 books every year. And it has really been amazing. I know the impact the books have had on me personally. That's why I don't need anybody to inspire me to read. And this over 600 books I'm talking about, they are aside other form of learning. I'm a big fan of. When I say 600 books, I can comfortably say that over 500 or say 550 books are either hard or soft copies. It was sometime last year I started to do audiobooks, which is also very fine. But I do a lot of online courses. Okay, Joyce P said I'll continue with 1 book a week or more. 24 books this year for God. Awesome. Very achievable. So I also have other forms of learning. I do a lot of YouTube videos. There's virtually no day I don't watch a training, a video on YouTube. So I learn a lot from that. I do a lot of interviews. Then I do documentaries also. I don't watch series because of the time that I take. Any movie that you cannot summarize in 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, I won't watch it. So, but the only time I get to watch a movie and it's a series is that I've gotten a lot of feedback from people about that particular movie, especially when these people are people that I trust. I know that they are people that are very intentional about their lives. So next week, this week we are entering now. I'm going to start watching Suits. Suits is a series. I've not watched it before, so I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Like almost everywhere for the past 3 weeks, I've been hearing people talking about that series. So I want to go and see what is happening there. If not, I don't do series. If I'm doing series, that series is going to be a documentary. That's what I do. So I used to learn also from that. I do a lot of biographies too, and autobiography. So there are other forms of learning apart from reading books. Yeah. So these books that I've read, they cover Christian literature. That is Christian literature. I'm a Christian. Finance, business, sales, marketing, relationship, leadership, education, goal setting, communication, etc. I try as much as I can to spread my reading towards different areas of development. I tell people, especially those in our community, that you should take stock of the books that you are reading on a weekly, monthly, and then on a yearly basis. What that does for you is that at least every quarter you can go back and check the books that you have read, and then you can get an idea of the areas that you have been paying more attention. There are times that probably because of your current goals or the areas where you want to see changes in your life, you just get carried away. For the next 3 months, 6 months, you are reading books on leadership. For the next, I'm not saying that that cannot happen, or there might not be reason why that should happen, but I want to be sure that you are doing it intentionally. So we don't want you to be growing in spiritually and you're not growing in relationships. We don't want to be growing spiritually and you're not growing in your finance. You can speak in tongues, you can raise the dead, you can heal the sick, but there's no money in your pocket. That's not what we want. We want to be sure that you're growing spiritually, also growing financially, or growing your relation with people. So what that happens is that the way to make that happen is that you have to be intentional about the books that you are reading. If you read books, maybe this month your focus is on finance, you do that next month or upper month, you pick up book in another area of development just to be sure that you are well grounded. It is very key, very important. So I haven't said all of that. I'm just going to share. Remember, I said I have 24 things I want to share with you. So I haven't said all of that. I'm just going to go straight into these 24 things. If you are writing, you can you can write these things down. Um, but if not, the replay might be made up will be made available to us later. Number one thing I would like you to learn is understand over my 24 years, sorry, my 12 years experience is that books are an investment, not an expense. So the month of January is past. Did you buy any book in January? Please, I need your response. Did you buy any book in January? Please use the chat box. Use the chat option. Did you buy any book in January? If you did, please type the author, the title of the book, and the author of the book. Books are an investment, not expenses. When you go to the bookstore, you see computer comes says no, sir. Thank you for being sincere. Evan said I didn't buy. I read from library, so that was fine. Mary said I didn't buy any. Can you imagine? So many of my people did not buy any book in January. Okay, so I forgot to say I have a lot of books that I bought before, which I have not read. So she's focusing on that. So I'm looking at your comments. Books are an investment, and anytime you buy a book, whether in a physical store or online on Amazon, Bukade says I have a I have a shelf full of unread books I didn't buy. No, I understand that. Eben said the library is on subscription, so you're investing is good. Just be say I downloaded a lot. I find it easier dealing with audiobooks. It's fine. I didn't buy in January because I bought two books in December, which I have not. I just started reading. It's fine. It's fine. So the point is clear. Anytime you are buying a book, you are not spending money, you are investing money. Okay, Gotun says bought some yesterday, but the academic are also books. John Davis said I downloaded a lot. Ogu said I read one. Okay, this was the last person said she bought. I've forgotten this person's name. Let me check the chat. So thanks for those response. Mr. Ruler says I bought How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not by Robert Sharma. Robert Sharma, I like that title. Maybe I have to check that book out. Petrina say yes, please, but yet to read The Power of Focus by Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield is an amazing author. I've not read that book, but I believe that that book will be good. Computer.com says she just paid for some books. Sorry, I don't know if it's the he or she. Just paid for some books this evening on business and finance. Thank you. Favor Friday said I downloaded the law. Sidra Day is saying I joined an ebook library but having issues reading online. Okay, probably I might touch on that. I don't know. Download say I have a shelf. I want to believe that he's trying to say he has so many books that he has not read. I'm reading the ones I bought in December. Nathaniel, that's good. A lot of responses. A lot of responses. Joy Ogenel Lune says I have a lot of books in my shelf in my house, but I'm currently 7. I bought 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene. Awesome. Currently serving in Ogun State, Joy. It's fine. Please, anywhere you are serving, carry books along. In fact, your service time, I don't know if probably you have other things that you do way beyond where you were posted. If not, your service time is one of the period that you can actually use to grow yourself because you might have more time to yourself. That was my own experience. It might not be you because I was fully a cop. I wasn't doing any other thing. So please, books are an investment. That's one of the major things that I've learned in the course of 12 years. Anytime you are buying the book, you are not spending, you are investing in yourself. Number two, the person who writes the book summary benefits 10 times more than the person who reads the book summary. So in our community, we always talk about summarizing the books that you read. Some people um, do chapter summary, while others do they do chapter summary, while others do book summary, and they are both fine. And there are other people who will never do a summary, but they will just wait for others to do summary, and then they'll be learning from the summary of other people. There's nothing wrong with that. We're a community, but please know that the person who is doing the summary benefits 10 times. Mike said, I bought a title, Great Controversy. Okay, very good. Who is the author of this? The person that is doing the summary benefits 10 times more. Oladimeji say, I bought a lot of books on my shelf, begging for reading. The books are begging you to read. Jim Quick will say, the books that are supposed to be for self-help, they have now become shelf help. Very funny concept. All right. Some people do books, chapter some do book summary, but the point is simple. Those that are actually writing the summary, they are going to benefit 10 times than those that just wait for others to write. When you are doing writing a book summary, you are not fine. Your book summary can inspire someone to get interested in the book and read it. But please know that first of all, you are doing it for yourself and not necessarily for the people. One of the things we have agreed to do, I and my team, is that um, our Twitter, our Twitter is going to be used for more of book summaries. More of book summaries. That's what I'm going to be doing on Twitter. So as I read books, I take a lot of notes. I believe in journaling. So from my notes, I take out things that I jotted down. I'll be uploading them on Twitter. That's what I'm going to be doing more on my Twitter with this year. When I'm doing that, somebody said he's not hearing again. Haruna said he's not hearing again. Please, if you can hear me, let me know. I want to be sure that it's not just only Haruna. Just type I can hear you. Haruna Danladi said he's not hearing. But if you can hear me, just type I can hear you so I can continue. Thank you. Prophet said you can hear me. So I believe it's from Haruna.
Loud
Haruna,
and clear.
you might want to log out and then log in again. Thank you, thank you. I want to log out and log in again. So I'm saying this to mean that I want to encourage you to do book summaries. When you are writing a summary, you are engaging yourself all over again. It helps you to pay more attention. In fact, when you know that you are going to write a summary, it helps you to pay more attention to what you are learning. Number three, it is possible to read one book a week if you devote 45 minutes to reading daily. There's no need to doubt this. Remember, I told you that I've been training for over a decade now. I've been training for over a decade now, and there's virtually no day I do not have a conversation about reading with people. So I can tell you that if you read for 45 minutes every day, I don't mean you do today, you don't do tomorrow, you finish an average book on Amazon. There's a proven stat to that. If you remind me, I'll get the link of a video from my coach and mentor Jim Quick, and I'll drop on the platform for you to see. He proved in that video that if you can read for 45 minutes every day, you finish an average book on Amazon. There's a whole mathematics and statistics and around it to prove that particular point. The major issue we have is that we're not consistent with it. We do it today, we don't do it tomorrow. But if you can do it for 45 minutes every day, be rest assured that you can finish one book in a week. It's a proven stat. It's very important that you know that also. All right, so number four, the hardest part of reading is sitting down to start. That's another thing that I've learned. I don't encourage people to read on their bed or even on their dining table. I encourage my students to get a reading table and chair. Depending on how blessed you are or how your pocket is, you can start with um, a plastic chair and table, and then over time you can grow. If you have built your own house or you are planning to build, part of the thing that you should have as a plan is to have a study room in your own house. So let's say you want to build a 3 bedroom apartment, make it four and dedicate one room to study. That's what great people that I know, that's what they do. But if you're in a one room, you're in a self-contained, carve out one area of your house right now in that same room that you can use for study. Leave your bed area, go to the study area and sit down. Computer.com said I'm using audiobooks title Atomic Habits, Science of Get. Fantastic, fantastic titles that you are reading. Get up from your bed, go to this study area and sit down. There's something it does to your mind. When you do that, you are passing a message to your entire system that you're about to study, you're about to do something serious. And that's how to approach it. It is the first step. Stand up from your bed, sit down on your reading table and chair. Not your dining, not your bed, please. So even when you don't feel like reading, in fact, when you don't feel like reading, that's the best time to stand up. Force yourself to sit down. I don't advise you read when you are tired or when you are sick. I expect you to get a lot. I expect you to get rest at that period, because reading is something um that is engaging you mentally. So you need to be alert in order to get the best out of every reading session. Number five, you are not under compulsion to finish a book if it's not delivering on its promise. So I have people say, "Oh, Coach Harry, is it compulsory that I start and finish a book?" Now there are two things. There are people who have a problem with starting and finishing a book. You are not the one I'm talking to here. If you have an issue with starting and finishing a book, this point is not for you. That's not what I'm talking about here. That issue has to do with indiscipline. And sometimes if you check very well, and for God said like me, and sometimes if you check very well, it's not just reading books that you find it difficult to start and finish. Even projects at work and other things, you start and you stop halfway. Because how you do a thing is how you do everything. I heard that a lot from Jim Quick. So that's not the category of person I'm talking about. I'm talking about those that are willing to go all through, but the book is not making sense. Now, people write books for different purposes. Not all books are great, not all books are good. You pick up a book because you need answers from that book. By the time you read one, two, highest 3 chapters, you can tell if this author is taking you somewhere or if this author is just wasting your time. I mean, there are so many books to read in your lifetime. Why would you waste all your time on one that is not making sense? So many books they fail to deliver on their title. So you are not under compulsion to finish a book if it's not delivering on its promise. Please, I need you to know that. Feel free to switch from that book to another one because there's no time to waste. Number six, read fewer books that have been around for days, read more books that have been around for decades. I'm sorry to say this, it's my own personal experience. Most of the books that were written, years before now, I feel like I get more value than the ones that are written recently. I read both old books and then I also read books that are recent. And most of the books I read that are recent books are majorly books that are answering questions that have to do with. Okay, Abiso is say reading to me something I enjoy reading. All thanks to you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Abiso. So, um, when I buy more of recent books, is because they are answering questions that have to do with stuffs that are maybe dealing with latest trends and all of that. If not, if I want to learn leadership, I know the people to go to. People that have written books that are classic. I find out that most of the books that are written years ago, they are more of much quality, most of them than the ones that people are doing now. Right now, we have people using ChatGPT to write books and all of that. It wasn't like that years ago. There's nothing wrong in getting ideas around book. But you know how it is years ago. We didn't have all of those extra help. Everything is coming from you. So I believe you understand what I'm saying. Read older books, read newer ones, but I prefer you read more of other, especially if it's something that you know is evergreen. So very, very important. That's number six. Number seven. All reading counts as reading. You can read printed books, e-books, audiobooks to discover which format works best for you. So I have people today that if you tell them that, oh, you read a book last week, but it was an audio book, they look at you as if you did not read the book because you did not sit down to open the book and read it. There are even people who today, if you read e-copy, in their mind they have not read the book. You have to buy the book, printed copy, open it and read it. I mean, we are in the 21st century. Things have evolved. I shared this in one of our live sessions. I had one of my students, senior secondary school. The dad was quarreling him that he no longer reads his book. Why? Because the guy switched from reading hard copies to reading soft copies on his laptop. So his daddy was mistaking him that anytime he's on his laptop, he's maybe doing something else. His dad did not know that he's reading soft copy, so he had to explain to him. So for those of us, let's say if you have gone through my program, you should be able to know if you are a visual learner, auditory learner, or kinesthetic learner. If you do that test and you find out that you are an auditory learner, it means that audiobooks is very good for you. So I recommend you check out Spotify, check out Audible, even YouTube. If you type audiobook on James Clear, you might see somebody that have read that book and done a summary about the book. Now, when it has come to summary also, there are full book summary and then there are full book summary and there are also summaries that don't there are audio book summaries that don't cover the whole book. Let me explain this way. A book like James Clear's Atomic Habits, it will take you maybe 3 hours to 4 hours to listen to the audio book from beginning to end. But somebody else like me now, I can decide to summarize that book for you in 45 minutes. I can decide to do that in 45 minutes. I recommend you listen to the full audiobook. If you are listening to the summary of the if you are listening to an audiobook summary, it means that you have it in mind that you are going to read the book itself by yourself again. I don't know if that point is clear. If you want to listen to the audiobook summary, so if you want to listen to an audiobook, listening to the full audio book. Listen to the full audio. If you choose to listen to the summary of the audio book, some people summarize a book for you in 25 minutes, 30 minutes. If that's what you choose to listen to, it means that you should still try as much as you can to read the book. When I listen to an audio book summary, say for 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, I want to get the overall view of the book before I begin to read the book. I hope that is clear also. And then number 8, everybody has time to read. I'm talking to some people now. Some of us that will say, "Oh, I'm very busy, I don't have time." You are lying to yourself. You have 24 hours to read. The reason why you are not reading is because you have not prioritized it. Once you prioritize it, you start reading. Everybody has time to read because everybody has 24 hours in a day. The reason why you are not reading is because you have not prioritized it. We all have time for the things that are important to us. Once we deem something is important, we'll go out of our way to ensure that we get it done. So you have 24 hours in a day. Why can't you bring out 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 1 hour at least for your own self care? If I ask everybody now, do you love yourself? Everybody will say yes. But it's not just by saying it. One of the way you show that you actually love yourself is by study every day. When you are doing that, you are renewing your mind. You are a spirit, you have a soul, you live in a body. Your soul is where your mind is, your intellect, your will, your emotions. You have to develop it. It's a form of self care, and self care is self love. So everybody has time to read. I tell my students the reason why you are not reading is because you don't schedule it. You plan every other thing. This week now we have entered a new week. You are going to plan your week, but you are not going to plan what to read during the week. So that's why you're not reading the way you're supposed to read. So I want you to debunk that. Number 9, some books are worth reading multiple times because of the impact that they had on you. Do you know for 5 years, I stopped doing that now. But for 5 years, I was reading Purpose Driven Life every January. Like the first book I read every January for 5 years was Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. So that book does have it has a way of reminding me of the most important things. It has a way of reminding me that I need to make sure that I'm living a purposeful life. Yes, so some books are what I've read. Sell Like Crazy by Sabisubi. I read it like 3 times. I don't want to talk about how many times I've read the audiobook. I've listened to the audiobook summary, but I read the book like 3 times. Then there are times where I still go through the notes that I took. If I don't want to go through the book itself, there are times that I go back to the book. I just read 1 or 2 chapters. The book is so impactful. It has helped my business to grow throughout last year and of course this year. So some books are worth reading multiple times, not just once. All right, point number 10. Carrying a book around is a good practice. You never can tell when you will have a chance to read. So anywhere you are going to, have a book around, either soft copy or hard copy. It is a good practice. You might just find yourself stuck in traffic and you are there for 40 minutes. Why do you want to waste that time? Maximize it. You are going to the bank, there's a crowd, you can't leave. Maximize it. That's what I do. In 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you can download something into your brain that will be powerful. So carry a book around, either soft copy or hard copy. Please, when you're carrying a book around, you are not showing. It's not for showmanship. It's not for you to show people that you are reading book. Number 11, reading book summaries and thinking you understand the book is like watching a movie trailer and thinking you understand the movie. So I think I already touched on this a little. You can't go and read a book summary and then your mind you have read the book. It doesn't work. It's like somebody that saw a trailer and then you now felt you have read the book. I watched this movie by Funke Akindele. A tried called Judah. Why did I go to watch the movie? I had people talking about it. Then I saw the trailer. The trailer um was engaging. So I can't say because I've seen the trailer, then I watched the movie. No, I have to go ahead to watch the movie. In fact, book summaries are meant to inspire you to actually read the book. I hope that makes sense. Number 12, your reading environment is more important than your reading motivation. I would say that motivation, when it has come to reading, has been overemphasized. Let's focus on environment. You have the responsibility to create an enabling environment that will spur you, push you to read on a daily basis. That's why I say invest in your study area. I wrote a book, Your Child Can Be an Active Reader, and I wrote that book to parents. And I was showing parents in that book practical things that they can do to instill a good reading culture in their children. I don't believe that we should leave education as parents, we should leave the education of the child to the school. We have a role to play, and the school also has a role to play. So I share tip strategies that parents can use to inspire their children to read. There's a difference between making a child read and making a child want to read. What most of us parents do is that we make our children to read. Come by, your child is watching TV. Have you done your homework? The child says no. You say, put off the TV, go and do your homework. The child will obey you. Of course, you are the parent, but the child might not read, even if the book is open before him or her. What you want to do is you want to be able to instill a good reading culture in the child so that with or without you, without your supervision, the child will want to read on his or her own. So, why did I talk about that book? In the chapter one, I posted something on Wendy Ologe's um, um, Facebook group. I'm trying to remember the name now. The Intentional Parent. Yeah. I asked parents, I asked a simple question because that forum is for parents. I said, as a parent now, today, when you were growing up as a child, were you privileged to have parents that instilled a good reading culture in you? To ask them to share their experience, and you could see the responses coming in. A lot of them said yes, some said no. One, and then the ones that stood out, I took about 20 of their experiences and I shared it in the chapter one of my book. Let me share one of them with you. This particular lady, she has like three lecturers as at maybe 4 or 5 years ago when I wrote that book. Three lecturers in their family. She said their dad had a very beautiful area and a very fine lamp. That's what she said. So she said as a child, she had her own reading table and chair, but she would never use it. She would go to her dad's reading table because of the lamp. Now I don't know if her dad did that or not, but just by because you're not just going to go to your dad's reading area and sit down. You are going there because you want to study, even if it is the lamp that is attracting you. And she was able to, and then she, according to her, they also used to see the dad sitting down there, and all of that, studying every day. So you have to create an enabling environment. Craft it very well. If God has blessed you, buy very good chair, nice table, put some nice quotes around it. Make sure that there's good light there and all of those things. It can inspire you to take action. Number 13, for better understanding, listen to the audio summary of a book before reading. I've already mentioned this, so I will not waste time here. If you want to understand a book better, let's say you want to read Sell Like Crazy, go to Spotify and then look for an audiobook summary on Sell Like Crazy. Listen to it for like 15-20 minutes before you start reading the book. You understand the book better. Number 14, when you read a book, you are downloading someone else's decade of expertise and experience indeed. This is one of the major things that I've learned over the years. This is one of the major things that keeps inspiring me to ensure that I'm reading on a daily basis. Let me give you an example. We have a man called John Maxwell. John Maxwell has been teaching leadership for over 4 decades, over 40 years. And then John Maxwell decides to write a book on delegation in leadership. And you don't want to read the book. You don't have access to John Maxwell. You can't go to America to listen to him. But he has written a book that you can read and you can download his 40 years experience on delegation in 1 week. It's a game changer and you have to take advantage of that. That's the point. When I'm reading somebody's book, I've been coaching consulting for 12 years now, or 11 years or 12 years now. I decided to write, share my experience in a book, and you want to go into coaching and consulting, and you don't want to read it, you have to. Number 15, reading one book may not change your life, but reading consistently will change everything. I wonder how somebody picks up a very good book in January, reads it, gets more value, and doesn't think that I need to go for another one so that I can keep myself. One book is not going to change your life, but reading multiple books consistently will change your life. Number 16, acting on what you have read is more important than picking another book. So in our program, we say we are training you to read books faster, to understand better, remember more, and execute aggressively. We want you to put to work the things that you are learning. Part of the training that I do, or the things I teach in my training, is that we teach journaling. You have to write when you are studying. You write notes, what you understood from the book, write it down. There's a proven stat that you are going to forget over 70% of what you learn in 72 hours. It's the notes that you take down that can help refresh your memory. So I used to encourage my students to write. Now, when you are writing, don't just write what you understood. Write what you are going to do with this new knowledge you have just gathered. So I call it action steps. Number one, two, three. Immediately I've done writing and the things you understood. You now write what you are going to do with those things. Please don't be in a hurry to go for the next book. Make sure that you are putting to work the things that you have learned from the previous one. That's number 16. Number 17, teaching what you just learned is a powerful way of embedding lessons learned in your memory. There's a proverb or an adage or a wise saying that teaching is learning twice. Teaching is learning twice. When you are teaching something, it benefits the person, but it benefits you first. It helps to solidify your learning experience. So if you are here tonight, you are a student, secondary school, senior, university, master's, PhD, please, when you learn something, share it with other people. Don't hold it. When we're in school, we have people that are students that knew stuff, but are holding from others because they feel like they were sharing them. It's not like that. When you are teaching something, you are learning it all over again. It's a powerful way to improve on your memory. Number 18, if you have people who are well read around you, it is better to ask them to recommend a good book to you than trying to search for yourself. This is another thing that I've learned over 12 years. So I just told you that I read over 600 books. Christian literature, finance, relationship, public speaking, all of this. I'm in a very good position to recommend books to you. Once I hear you and I know what you want to achieve, I can recommend a good book for you or to you in that area. But when you go to the bookshop, you are going to see a lot of books. You're going to see a lot of books, and you can't really tell what the content is. But when somebody has mentioned it, when somebody have read it, recommend it for you, 90% of the time, you're going to get more. So for those who are in our community, those who attend the Student Certificate program, you know that at the end of the program, I think week two of the program, I used to give you 250 books from my personal development library. Out of these 600 books I read over these years, I segment them in a Google Drive, and then I send to you. The reason why I'm doing that is because my trainings are practical. You can't be doing the speed reading program and that month you didn't read two books. It doesn't work. So as I'm training you to read, I'm also recommending or giving you books that you should read. So you see books on different areas of development. Number 19, read more books if you want to become better at writing. People see me write stuff, say, Coach Harry, how do you do this? Blah, blah, blah. It's because I read more. You cannot give what you don't have. You are a content creator, you are not reading. Very soon your content is going to be dry. When you go online and you see the kind of content that people are putting out, it is based on the quality of their thoughts. I saw a skit yesterday. I really don't know what that guy and that lady was trying to achieve, but she was not well dressed. She was wearing only She was not well dressed. I don't know the quarrel that they had. He tore her shirt, so she just had a very short, tight, like inner wear stuff that she was wearing, and then her bra, and then she was covering herself and running. That thing did not make any sense to me. It's not as if they were doing a movie or something. It was a skit. I wonder why you have camera. You have camera, and that's the only thing you can come up with. If you want to be a better writer, better content creator, read more books. You get a lot of ideas. Number 20, like every other habit, it takes consistency to build a good reading culture. So in January, I read Atomic Habit by James Clear, and he talks about the place of consistency. I have met with people that did not even go through a speed reading program, but because they are consistent with their reading, they became fast at it. Consistency breeds speed. I want somebody to type that down. Please type it down. Consistency brings speed. If you want to be fast at anything, do it all the time. Consistency breeds speed. I want somebody to type that down. I need to be sure you're with me. Consistency breeds speed. Thank you, and for God. Thank you, Tolu Lokwe. If you want to be a fast runner, what do? You run every day. It's as simple as that. If you want to be a fast reader, read every day. Read every day. You become fast at it. I just shared one of the major secrets to speed reading. All right, we are making progress. Number 21. Keeping an open mind helps you get the best out of books. So in education, there's what we call learning, unlearning, and relearning. Out of these three concepts, the middle one on learning is the most difficult. We think we know the things that we are supposed to know. I want somebody to type that down. We think we know the things that we are supposed to know. Have you ever met with somebody arguing with you ignorantly? This person is very sure of what he's saying. He's defending it with his life, but he's wrong. So when you open a book to read, keep an open mind. You will get the best out of it. This is not to mean that you are supposed to agree with everything the author says. For me as a Christian, I judge every book I read based on what I know from the word, from the Bible. So you have to keep an open mind if you are going to get the best out of book. The literate of the 21st century is not the person that cannot read and write, but the person that cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Everything you have known so far has brought you to where you are. Thank you, John David. Everything you have known so far is what has brought you to where you are. If you are going to know better, if you are going to do better, you have to know better. There are things you don't know. That's why you have not achieved some other things. So you have to keep an open mind. You have to be humble. If you are going to learn, you have to be humble. So that's number one. We are making progress. Number 22. To build consistency in reading, you need to decide what to read, when, time to read, and where, place to read. So I learned this from Atomic Habits, James Clear. If you have read that book, you can relate. Anytime you want to do something, one of the things you must do is to decide when you are going to do it and where you are going to do it. That's one of the major ways to push yourself. So if you're in our community, you see me, I every day I talk about the books. Every week I talk about the book I'm reading for that week. And then I also ask you to talk about the time, to mention the time you have allotted to reading. I'm doing something intentional. Some of you say 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. I'm doing something intentional. That's how you form a new habit. Don't just say I'm going to do this. When are you going to do it? Where are you going to do it? As we are in February now, this month, this is the first week in February. You are supposed to know the books that you want to read this month already. So for me, I recommend books to people. When I'm reading a book, I encourage others to join me reading it because I know that people don't make those decisions for themselves. So I can't just leave them like that. For you that is listening to me, somebody cannot just stay now and just tell me, go and read this book. Because there's something I'm looking for now. There's the kind of knowledge I need now. So you must always decide what you want to read, when and where you are going to read it. Number 23, the goal of reading is not to read so many books, but to gain so much wisdom. I love this. So I'm the speed reading expert. I'm the one telling you that you can read one book a week, 4 books a month, and 14 books a year. But please note, the goal of reading is not to read so many books, but to gain so much wisdom. These books that you have said, that you said you are reading, it has to show in your communication. When it's time to give opinions, it has to show that this guy is learned. Let me put it that way. It's to gain so much wisdom. That is the end goal. Reading is not an end in itself, it's a means to an end. You are reading because you want to become more smart or smarter, more intelligent, full of wisdom. All right. So, number 24, the last one I have for you today. I've already mentioned this before. I said, yeah, keep record of books that you are reading. It helps you to know areas you are paying attention to and areas you are neglecting. I've read 5 books this year: Atomic Habits, Holy Spirit Consciousness, The Faithful Church Worker, How to Speak So Kids Listen, How to Listen So Kids Speak, and then one other one that is at the top of my head now. These books I've read, my current notes, the first page, I have them written there. The ones I'm going to read in February, I have them written there. By the end of March, I'm going to look at all the books that I've read and I'll check, have I been paying too much attention in one area, neglecting other areas? I'm a leader. I shouldn't go through 6 months, 1 year without reading a book on leadership. I lead both in faith and in business world. So I need to be sure that I'm also reading Christian literature. I'm a parent. I need to be sure that I'm reading books on parenting. So you have to be balanced. Let me put it that way. That's number 24. I said I was going to share 24. If you leave me, I can go to 48. But for the time that we have, I decided to do 24. For those that are meeting me for the first time, Harry Owonaba, Africa's number one speed reading expert. I train people from all walks of life to read books faster, understand better, remember more, and execute aggressively. I believe strongly that if I can inspire people to read, their lives will be transformed. And so for 12 years now, I've committed my life to raising lifelong committed learners. Currently, I've written 3 books: Become a Speed Reader for private individuals like you. I've written Your Child Can Be an Active Reader for parents who want to instill a good reading culture in their children. And of course, I've written Roadmap to Academic Excellence for students, senior primary, secondary, university, at all levels. CEO of Harris Institute and Educare Educational Services. Over 12 years, trained and certified over 15,000 people. My mission for 2024 is to train 10,000 people. And I want to hope that with your partnership, with working with me, I'll be able to do that with you. Just before I let you go, please, you are going to do something for me. You are going to, out of these 24 points that I've made today, 24 lessons I've learned after reading 600 books in 12 years, I want you to write out the ones that stands out the most. You are going to write it and you are going to drop it on your group. Some people are saying that the group is locked. I used to lock groups because of spammers. There are people who come into your group because they just want to promote stuff. And not that what they are promoting is genuine. So maybe after now, I'm going to open your group. What you need to do is just go there and Out of these 24 points, let us know the one that stands out most for you. You can mention one, you can mention two. Let us know the one that stands out most for you out of these 24 points. I mean, let's pepper those people that did not come live. So the January edition of the Speed Reading Certificate program is done, but the February edition is starting tomorrow. The February edition is starting tomorrow. I want to you seize this opportunity to talk a little about it and then inspire those that are still sitting on the fence to jump right in. So just give me 30 seconds. Let me try to share my screen again. All right, I'm seeing your emojis. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you got value. So please, like I said, I want you to go to your chat on WhatsApp, your group, and just share what you are out of the 24 point, the one that stands out most for you. Now, for those that I've not gone through my training. Remember, there's a group that I created last week. I have over almost 500 people there. You came from Facebook, Instagram to that group, and I said we are doing a challenge to read 48 books this year. The challenge is not taking place in that group. You are going to receive tips, strategies from the book. But if you really want to be part of our community, you have to register for our Speed Reading Certificate program. Currently, in February, we've done 115 persons. In January, we have almost 50 persons in February. So we want you to jump right in because we are going to start earnestly. I posted something there today. We are going to start earnestly from tomorrow. So I just want to use this opportunity to go give you an overview of what to expect if you decide to go through that program. So we have a 1 month program. We do 2 sessions every week. Then we do 8 sessions in course of the month. In our day one, we talk about study habits of successful people. But before we do that, we take you through a study skills assessment test just to find out the areas you are doing very well in your study and the areas where you need to improve upon. After which, we set up an accountability a system or structure so that we can follow you up and know how many books that you are reading every week. In course of the month, everybody is mandated to read at least 2 books. That's what we do on our first session. Second session, we talk about the limitless model, how to make yourself or anyone else do anything or achieve anything in life, including reading. If you are going to do anything, if you want to form a new habit, using reading as an example, you need the right mindset, you need the right motivation, you need the right method. You can't be reading the same way you were taught to read in nursery and primary school as a full grown adult now and expect to get better results. For those of us that have people abroad in the Western world, find out from them. They will tell you that in college, secondary school, they teach their students speed reading. It's quite unfortunate that we don't have such platforms here, and that's part of the gap that we are trying to close. Day three, we now talk about developing a good reading culture, how to create the right environment for reading, schedule time for reading, and set holistic smart reading goals. Day four, we talk about speed reading itself, how to read like a pro, how myself and members of my community are crushing their reading goals, 1 book a week, 4 books a month, 48 books every year. Day five, we talk about boosting your memory power, and this has to do with remembering stuff. What's the essence of reading if you are not going to remember what you have? Nathaniel is saying, I would like to post the 24 points on the chat group. I lost some during my notes. Okay, so I'm thinking of what I can do. Maybe I'll make the slides available. If I make the slides available, everybody will see. There's no need for your posting. So maybe I'll make the video available, and then you can now, if you watch again, you can get the points, then post wherever it is that you would like to post. So I was saying something. Now, day five, we talk about how to remember stuff. Remember what you have learned. There are tips and strategies to this. Now, day six, we talk about strategic documentation of thoughts, how to take notes and how to make notes. They are two different things. In our day seven, we talk about understanding your intelligence, knowing how you are smart, understand your temperament, how it affects your learning, knowing your difference, understanding your learning style, knowing how you learn. And of course, day eight, we talk about dealing with distractions and procrastinations. For those that were in the January batch, this is what we dealt with yesterday as the last session in January. If you come on this program, I have some amazing bonuses for you. Bonus number one is you are going to be certified as a speed reader You can use this certificate to train other people. After, you must have practiced and also got results for yourself. I already mentioned that I'm going to get top 250 books person in from my personal development library. This is what over 250K. We are going to get it for free. And I said here that I'm the best person to recommend books for you, to you, because I read a couple of books over the years. You're also going to get a copy of my three books for free. I've mentioned those three books. You're going to get the 45-page document containing the full training manual that I use for this 8 days training. It's the soul of my coaching and consulting for over a decade. And I'm giving it to you because I want you to have something handy that you can use for your revision, and also if you decide to train other people. Then you get personal videos on the subject of reading, how to create time to read. I have an amazing YouTube channel. I have some very good videos there. I have some videos that are sending, that are answering some pertinent questions that you have. You are going to get such videos, and then you also get go to there's a theoretical aspect of learning speed reading, and then there's a practical aspect of learning speed reading. So we learn speed reading by using apps, and there are so many of them on Play Store, but I recommend the ones that I use that I feel is very easy to navigate. I recommend three for you. I drop the link, you just go straight. These are some of the Go straight to Google Play Store and download it in your phone. I do video records on how to use them so that you don't get lost. And then of course you get express access to me. I'm not among those coaches that after 1 month, my students are here. I'm not among those coaches that after 1 month you never get to hear from them again. I try as much as I can to ensure that I keep in touch with my students. So those are some of the bonuses that you get if you jump on this particular program. So let's talk about what the commitment that you need to make in order to join our community. So like you've already seen that this program is worth over 500K, but you won't be paying up to that because it is highly subsidized. So there are three basic ways that you can join this program. You can say to yourself, "Oh, Coach Harry, I'm not into that WhatsApp training thing. I just want you to coach me one on one. I want you to be the one to train me 1 month, and then we are having this session, live video sessions together. It's going to cost you 125,000 naira. If you want to learn speed reading from my coach Jim Quick, you spend $297 for his online course, not one on one. You can't access him one on one. But by God's grace, at least I've been able to make that guy. So in 1 month with 125,000, you can have me to yourself. I don't delegate my one-on-one to anybody. I do it by myself. Then I have an online video course. This for people that want to learn at their own pace. So everything I will have taught you, I've recorded them professionally and I've hosted them on my third-party website. All you need to do is you make payment and you'll be given access to the videos. You can watch it at your own pace. I have 8 models there, those 8 different models I just shared. I have 8 video recordings there, questionnaires, tests that you need to do, and then you have lifetime access to those videos. So not just for this month. Um, let's say you are a parent here, you go through the program for yourself. Your students are your children are on holiday. When they come back, they can play. They can also can play it for them again. They can listen. You're a school owner, can play the video for your students to watch in their classroom and all of that. Very impactful. So that's for the online video course, and it costs 50,000 naira. Then the last option I have is the group coaching session. The group coaching session is still a 1 month program, but what we do is that we use WhatsApp, we use text, videos, um, pictures, and voice notes to do the WhatsApp classes. Out of those 8 sessions I'm going to have with you in 1 month, 6 sessions are going to be on WhatsApp, and then 2 sessions are going to be live. Those that just finished January can attest to this. I did 6 sessions with them on WhatsApp, then I came live 2 sessions to train them. That cost 10,000 naira. But like I said, for those that are already aware that if you have not gone through this program, I'm allowing the first 50 people to pay 5,000 naira for it, and you get access to everything that I've mentioned. For me, it's a no-brainer, not something that you should be thinking about. If you truly want to improve on your reading culture, this is the least way you can actually, invest in yourself. When I started my program, I was doing one-on-one alone, but I noticed that a lot of people love what I was doing, but they didn't have that kind of amount to invest in themselves. So I decided to come up with this group coaching just so I'll be able to reach out to more people. That'll be all from my end from tonight. If you want to jump on this program, all you need to do is just reach out to me, or on our platform, the account details are there. You make payment and then I'll add you to the training group. Like I said, we are starting tomorrow. I don't know. Do I have anybody that have a question? That question might not be necessarily what we did tonight. I'm just going to entertain one, two. It's already 9:22. I want to stop by 9:30. We have done 2 hours, over 2 hours. So do I have any question, please? This is the right time to ask. Okay, Emmanuel Nwos is asking, how do I reach out to you? I believe you came in through a WhatsApp group. Bridget's asking, there's a replay. Yes, there will be a replay. Okay, let me drop my WhatsApp contact here. If you are not, maybe somebody invited you through the link. You don't have my personal details. 080-6215-8592. So our people have done what they know how to do best. Thank God I'm almost rounding up. So if you see on the chat now, you see my WhatsApp details there. Or you can copy this out. I think I have my account details, my phone number in one of these slides. Yeah. So this is it here. You're not making a payment of 10,000. You're paying now. You are going to pay 5,000 naira for the group coaching. Then for the online video course, 50,000, one-on-one 25,000. This is the account you are paying to, and these are my WhatsApp number. You can reach me through any of these WhatsApp. Give me 10 seconds. Let me close my window because of the noise from the generator. That's how to reach out to me. I also want to say this, that I'm also counting on you, especially those that have gone to this program. The least you can do is to help share this word. Like I say, our goal is to train 10,000 persons today. I do corporate trainings. I want you to invite me to your company to come talk to your staff, to your leaders, to your church to come talk to your staff, to your leaders. If you're a business leader here, your job is not to become the smartest person. Your job is to surround yourself with the smartest people. Somebody said, does the 5K paid for the book cover the group training? Yes, that's how generous I am. If you are paid for my book, you're not paying anything. You're going to get us. If you are paid for my book, you're already in the training book. Because Petrina is saying points number 18, there's an editing that needs to be done. I'll check that out. Thank you so much. I just did that slide before I came live, so maybe there was a mistake there. I'm also looking forward to partnering with you. Let's improve on our society by improving on our human capacity development. Please, I'm entertaining questions now. All you have to do is raise your hand, one or two, and then we are done. I'm seeing Harun or Danlad, your hands are raised up. Do you want to ask a question? Or is it a mistake? This is the right time. If you're asking a question. Petrina, your hands are raised up. Joy, your hand is raised up. You want to ask a question?
Yes,
You'll meet your mic.
I'd wanted to tell you that point 18 is supposed to be book, but I think it's a typo error. You did it GOOK instead of B. Then
Thank
my
you so much.
second, yeah. Then I will also need books on how to do good presentation and how to build my self-confidence. Is it the reading that will help me build my self-confidence, or I have books that I can read for it to help me build my self-confidence?
Okay, so Petrina, we have been together for a while. All you need to do is send me a WhatsApp, send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll recommend Dale Carnegie's book on self-confidence to you. Mary Indy said, Coach, you are doing very well. I followed you. Let me read. It's good to receive some accolades sometimes. Mary said, Coach, you are doing very well. I followed you for 4 years now. I started a reading program after attending your coaching session for a year. but it's so discouraging because Nigerians has poor reading culture. At a time, I became discouraged. Don't be discouraged, oh, my sister. If you are discouraged, what will I say now? If you are discouraged, what will I say? Please don't be sorry. Keep pushing. You are impacting life 5, 10, 20 people. Keep doing what you are doing. Part of my goal this year is to raise 10 speed reading experts. 10 speed reading experts. If you are interested to be among those 10 people, it's going to cost you 50,000 naira. So I'm going to put 10 of you in a group, and then I'll take you through my entire modules and how I do the trainings. Then I'll give you all of my materials. The idea is that you'll be able to use them to also train other people. I'll also show you my marketing systems, how I get people to register for my program every month. This year, I would say I've not even done as much as what I did last year. Last year I had up to say 400 persons register for my group coaching in 1 month. So I'll be training 10 persons. If you're interested in that also, you can reach out to me. Then I'll give you more details. I'm just doing for 10 persons. I want to be able to pour myself into other people that can do exactly what I'm doing right now. I believe strongly that there are people in your sphere of influence that I might never be able to get access to. Joy, are you there? Are you still trying to speak? Your hands are raised up. We are
Okay,
closing now.
good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Can previous students still join the next batch, the next class for this month?
No, I didn't get your question.
Can previous students can they join this class of February class? This
Okay,
February, not
okay,
February.
yes. So if you are, I mentioned that in our previous session. If you are a previous student and maybe you want to do a refresher course, you can join. I will allow you pay 2,500 instead of 5,000 because you are a previous student.
Okay, that'll be nice. All right, thank you, sir. I'll
So all you
join
need
now.
to do is to reach
I'll
out.
become curious.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, sir.
So yeah, you can do that. Any other question? We are rounding up now. Any other question? We are rounding up now. Okay, so um in the absence of no other question, I want to really appreciate you for your time. Some of you started this session tonight from 8 p.m. and you have been here till 10:30. 9:30, sorry. Wait, so is it 9:30 or 10:30? Okay, it's 9:30. We did 1 hour 30 minutes. Mary did say I need a refresher course. Yeah, so somebody saying I'm unable to get your certificate. Those of you that don't have your certificates, because most of you, not maybe probably not all of you, is because you don't drop your name when you are supposed to. Please chat me up with your name the way you want it to be on your certificate and it will be done for you. Petrina said, we truly appreciate you, coach. Let me read all those people that are praising me this night. Just want to say thank you, Coach Harry. I hope to partner with you. What am I here for? Prof X. What am I doing if I don't partner with you? So please reach out. Let's have an agreement. Let's see what we can do together. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. If you have any other question I've not responded, please you can drop it on the chat group. Joy says you are such a blessing in this our generation. God bless you, sir. Amen. Amen. Part of my vision this year is to have my online school. I'm already speaking to the web developers. Going to have an online school. I've always had a dream of owning a school, and I knew that that school is not going to be like the regular school. I want to have a school that provides real-time education that will be relevant to the 21st century. I find out that there's a very big gap in the school system. I've tried to partner with schools, but it seems not to be working. So I want to create my own online school platform where people will come. If I ask so many of you now on this call, what's a major need now? You're not going to tell me maths or English. You're going to tell me you want to learn public speaking, you want to learn how to write, you want to learn how to come live, you want to learn how to speak to a camera. These are skills that you need to stand out in the 21st century, and there seems not to be. The school is not doing anything about it, or most schools, let me put it that way. I don't know anything about. So I'll be doing that also this year, partnering with other course creators to build a platform where you can come learn 21st century skills. All right, I'm signing out. I've said a lot tonight. I'm signing out. Thank you so much for your time. Please go to your WhatsApp group that you came from and then type what you have learned tonight. Please let's prepare those people that did not come. Joseph Blessing said it was impactful. You're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm trying to end the recording. Once I do that, I'll put an end to this call. At this juncture, you are free to leave. I believe that one day I'll write books directed to solopreneurs. Yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea.